I'd like to call to order the Brooklyn City Board of Education, May 22nd, 2018, regular meeting. Mr. Street, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Here.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Here.
Mr. Singer?
Here.
Mr. Hennings?
Here.
Mr. Over?
Here. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody. First off is recognition and commendations. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Glykoff.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. Tonight we have the high school, and I invite forward Ms. Hostetler, who wants to commend some of our students who've been doing some wonderful things at Brooklyn High.
Thank you. Good evening. The Health Professions Affinity Community, or HPAC, program is one of the largest health profession programs for the youth in our country. The program empowers youth to identify health concerns in their community and invent community health programs to address them. Through this work, the youth become a vital community champion for health as they advance into health professions educational pathways. The program currently serves about 2,000 youth in Ohio, and they in turn serve more than 10,000 Ohioans. This is the third year that Brooklyn High School students have participated in this program. This outstanding opportunity for our students is completely funded through a grant and a partnership with the Northeast Ohio Medical University. This grant allows students an opportunity to identify health concerns in our own community and implement targeted action plans to address them. This year, our 11th grade HPAC students prepared excellent presentations for both parents and 8th and 9th grade students on abusive teen relationships and signs of impending teen suicide. Our 10th grade team focused on teenage depression. The team organized a Dodge Depression with a Stretched Smile. The team's research showed the positive impact of health on the positive impact of exercise, on mental health. The team organized a free session of both dodgeball and yoga to encourage students to get active. The team also had lighthouses attached as a nameplate on the doors of adults in the building. These lighthouses symbolize that those teachers are beacons of hope and open to talking to students. The 9th grade HPAC team focused their project, Think Before You Tweet, on cyberbullying and the negative effects that it can have on teenagers. The students researched the detrimental effects of negative online posts. In response to their findings, students created a video highlighting teachers and staff reading fictitious posts, both negative and positive. The group plans to present this video to the entire student body to raise awareness on cyberbullying. On April 29th, all of these groups presented at NeoMed for their annual Scholars Day celebration. I am very excited to announce that Brooklyn High School was awarded with the school that has shown the most growth in research and presentation over the last 3 years. In addition, our 11th grade team was awarded Best in their division for their project. Brooklyn High School, and also the mayor of Brooklyn, would like to commend these students in the winning 11th grade team that are here with us this evening. Members of our winning team include David Dugan. Come on now. Jared Green. Hunter Majewski. Kara McGinnis. Gabriela Mendez. Esma Rami. Yari Ramos.
He was in charge of a class that I walked in the other, right? He did a good job.
And Katina Tom.
Yeah, I put him in charge.
This team won medals. On April 29th, we were very proud of this group. This group also, we encourage these students to hopefully pick a career field in the health fields, because we know that there are so many job opportunities in this area for these students. So in addition to their projects and presentation, the grant also has paid for our students in the HPAC program to receive the leadership training through the Effective Leadership Academy, and also field trips, opportunities to both Neomed and then Hiram College this past fall. So congratulations to these
Good job.
students. I would also just like to take one quick opportunity to thank everybody responsible for rewarding our outstanding students who earned local scholarships last week at our annual award ceremony. Those ceremonies would not be possible without the help of the following individuals or groups that I would just like to mention publicly and thank them. And the Brooklyn Board of Education, Brooklyn Education Association, PTSA, Carol Yannico, the Brooklyn Athletic Booster Club, Brooklyn Kiwanis,
That's who you put in
the
charge.
Brooklyn Music Parent Club, Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, the Clarence L. Rice Foundation, Mr. Rudy Bredenbeck family, the Brooklyn High School faculty, Hudak Dental, American Red Cross, and the graduating Brooklyn High School class of 1967. So thank you to those organizations for helping
Thank you.
support.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hostetler. I know a couple of staff members were here too, Mr. Pachowski and others. Congratulations to our students. I think we've talked about HPAC before. We've had many students involved in this over the last few years. I really give the students credit, because if you heard some of those topics that they've tried to tackle, teen mental health, cyber safety, bullying, these aren't light topics. And it's great that our youth are identifying the big topics that are concerns and big issues for our teens. So I really credit them for that. So thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next, comments from visitors. In order for the board to fulfill its obligation to complete the planned agenda in an effective and efficient fashion, a maximum of 30 minutes of public participation as it pertains to school-related topics will be permitted at each meeting. Each person wishing to address the board will approach the podium and state his/her name and address. If several people wish to speak, each person will be allotted 3 minutes until the total time of 30 minutes is used. During that period, no person may speak twice until all who desire to speak and had an opportunity to do so. The period of public participation may be extended by a vote of the majority of the board. Anybody like to speak? Anybody? Name and address, please.
Sure.
You got the dropsies today.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the computers. My name's Mike Changieri. I live at 8705 Morton Avenue in the city of Brooklyn. And I just wanted to go over I made some notes. Last couple of meetings I've been showing up to discuss. There's a lot of committees that I'm on to help with the students in the district and to get parent participation into the schools. I guess I'm always trying to be positive. I've always given everyone that I deal with a fair shake, and I'm getting to the end of the fair shake. I've had several meetings with Dr. Glykoff. I've talked to other parents. I've been in meetings with individuals that I would say are causing issues with my ability to help parents negotiate and navigate through the IEP 504 process. I'm not an expert, nor do I say I'm an expert, but I've got 3 children of my own. A lot of people in the room know that. I've gone through, I don't know if I can say HE double toothpicks in a public meeting and back. And I don't want other parents to experience what I have without someone that they can talk to and feel confident in. I volunteer for several positions, and I guess my concern is if parents don't know that I'm available to help them, there's no way that they're going to contact me. and that's something that I've had issues with the administration on. I'm not advertising, I'm not doing this for any financial gain, other than to help kids, and especially their parents, deal with the big process of negotiating an IEP. Getting back to what I had written down, none of this has ever been personal for me. It's personal for my kids when they come up and speak about the district's lack of trying to accommodate children with dyslexia and dyscalalia. And I've given it time. This will be the 4th complete school year that I've been patiently awaiting a solution to this. And as my son, who by the Mrs. Hostetler, she's still here, thank my son Michael, who's kind of shy. He wanted to give a shout out to Mrs. Hostetler for the DC trip. Thank you so much. Mrs. Marsico, Mrs. Bazula, Mr. Abramovitz, and Mrs. Bader, the Barron Bus Company, the drivers, and also the tour guides from Norwalk Tours. He's just a little shy guy. He doesn't want to come up here and say that, so I'm saying that for his. And the last thing he wanted to say, he would like to request, and he's made requests to the student council, if they could start reciting the Pledge of Allegiance and maybe a moment of silence on a daily basis in the high school, just because it's his own personal time to reflect. And I've always put, and I don't want to go over time here, but I've always put the needs of my children, and I always apply that to the individuals that I try to help. But I wanted to make a suggestion to the board. If there's a way that the board could have oversight of scenarios like mine that come up in meetings where there is an issue, before we all go lawyer up on each other and spend thousands of dollars in tax money that we don't have, if there was a way that the board could inject some oversight into this process to maybe alleviate, once the superintendent has his administrative review, to go over this with all the people involved and say, you know what, this is a valid reason, we need to allot money for it, and that's where the board would come in with the Treasury Department. Because I don't like having discourse in meetings. I like to respect everybody that I deal with. But when there's a clear violation of going over a parent's head, last I checked, God gave us our children. The state doesn't give us our children. And when an administrator says that in a meeting, I really start to go, whoa, we need to back the truck up here.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Yes.
Anybody else want to speak? Anybody else? Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. But I guess I want to be participant. I want to be the parent that always tries to help. But there's always pushback. And the pushback is getting harder and harder for me to swallow. So I participate in the parent-teacher partnership. This is our 3rd full year. It's a great program, but we need to roll it out and get the parents that want to help into what the original intent of the program is, instead of going through all the levels of, and I think it's really a waste of our tax money, where you have a BLT, a DLT, then you have your superintendent board. You know, too many decision makers spoil a really good idea. And not that I'm taking anything away from anybody in this room. I've never made any personal attacks on anybody. But when it comes to the bottom line, the brass tacks is we either put up or shut up. And when I rally support, and I know a lot of people don't think, because I talk to a lot of parents, that where are they? Well, they've already been through the same thing I've been through. They already have experienced the pushback, but I'm not giving up. The other parents have. So every meeting I try to come in and be a positive, which was Michael enjoyed his DC trip. He recommends it to everyone in the earlier grades. But we're here for one reason, and I could bring out the charts. I printed off the charts of how the state records our performance objectives. We're here to teach kids.
I'm gonna have you wrap it up.
I'm done. That was
No,
it.
you're fine, okay.
No, that was it.
Anything-
And I had a bunch of other notes, and I've talked to several of the board members. But I want us to be able to sit down at a table, get some board review of the reasons why I would go, because I'm gonna have to file a complaint. And it's gonna cost money. And then feelings get hurt. I just want a solution to the issues. And we have it in our budget. The teachers want to get credentialed. Let's just do this. This is the 4th year I've been pounding the drum. So, but thank you, God bless everybody, have a great summer, and I won't take any more time.
You're fine, thank you. Anybody else?
Hello, my name is Richard Lewis. Address is 8831 Burwald Avenue. I just wanted to come up here and talk about the, what do you call it, Strategic Planning Task Force. I want to get it right, is that right?
Strategic planning.
Strategic planning that Dr. Glykoff set forward. I belong to the Safety and Discipline Task Force. I want to say in the beginning, I really had my doubts about where this was going to go after having a few meetings. I am very optimistic, very hopeful. I think our task force came up with some great ideas. There's always room for improvement. I know it's going to be a slow process, but like I said, I am very hopeful. I think we can accomplish a lot. And I would like to recommend we keep these strategic planning task force going. I think a lot of good can come from that. So, thank you for pushing this forward.
Thanks,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Anybody else? Anybody else? Thank you, thank you. We're gonna go, where am I at here? We're gonna go to superintendent's report, I believe, yeah. Superintendent's report, Dr.
All right,
Glykoff.
thank you, Mr. Neal. I just have a couple of quick things tonight. First thing I want to do, because this is really the first time we've been able to meet publicly since May 8th, since Election Day.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing I should do is say thank you to the voters of Brooklyn. Very excited about certainly getting the renewal passed at a 2-to-1 clip is I think a credit to the levy committee, the Board of Education, the folks who really put the hard work into that. So we're excited. That's a renewal. It's what we needed, and now we're on to bigger and better things. And obviously, I won't, but I'm sure Mr. Street's going to have the 5-year forecast and talk a little bit more about that. But I did want to say thank you to the voters of Brooklyn first. I want to say congratulations up front to our seniors getting ready for graduation. I've had the good fortune during the last 3 weeks to have either a breakfast or a lunch with all the seniors. And it's kind of exciting to hear them and hear from them and talk, as they say, what are they doing this summer? What are they going to plans for after school and so forth? And I got to tell you, we've got some really ambitious young men and women who are going to make us proud into the future. So, and I'm always look forward to graduation. And June 3rd, 2 o'clock, auditorium. So.
That's right.
Polaris Career Center, I'm not going to jump into Mr. Oper's game here, but I was there last evening for that. What a great event. And we also had 2 of our students, they were named outstanding students in their particular program areas. So I think we should be proud of that. 3 students.
I saw that on your Twitter feed.
So live Twitter. Interesting
I
that
don't know,
Mr. Lewis
looking at
brought
it.
up strategic planning. That was another item I just wanted to say. Newsflash, it's not going anywhere. It's really a strategic plan should be a 5-year plan. And so those groups really they're in the process right now of crafting those action steps and then moving forward and making sure that those action steps are actions and happening. So we're excited about that. At our next month's meeting, I should have kind of a first draft for everybody here to kind of really discuss as we get that group together. I know it's going to be tough now with summer coming, but I'm excited about that. So there's still a lot of work in the future, so thank you. And the last thing I just wanted to say was certainly over the last day or two, we've had some attention again brought to our roof in the high school. I just wanted to make some comments publicly regarding that. Certainly, I don't think it's any secret, we're in need of a new high school roof. That's first and foremost. That roof is over 20 years old. And we have really tried to do what we could and are doing in terms of trying to put our finger into the particular places. And we've got roofers that are out here probably multiple times a week. But one of the things that we've asked our custodians and our cleaners to do is to make sure that on a very regular basis that those are cleaned up. Because obviously for the safety of our students and our staff members. It is kind of frustrating though, and Mrs. Neal and I met with our roofer last week. We said, is there some other measure that we can do here? We can't afford to obviously get the new roof, but is there some other kind of stopgap measures to maybe address some of the most problematic areas of our roof? And so we're actually going to meet with them tomorrow, and they're going to give us a proposal. So we're looking to, once we hear that, bring our Board of Education Facilities group together and really kind of discuss that and see where that goes in light of what we have in terms of funds, which is obviously limited. Without a PI levy, PI fund, we're obviously working on limited dollars. But I just wanted to make that public because that's not something that we're just kind of ignoring. And certainly we want to address it, but there's we do have some limited availability to that. So. But that is my report for this evening.
Appreciate it.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Blackhoff. On to the treasurer's report. I'm going to talk to Mr. Street.
About 2 weeks ago, the Records Commission met. It consists of Mr. Neal, Dr. Glykoff, and myself. And I had the Records Commission approve a records retention schedule. And there's a template that comes from the state, and we pretty much followed that template. And it outlines the records of the school district and how long they have to be kept. And so at that meeting, the Records Commission approved the disposal of some records, and then later on in the board agenda, I have some more records to dispose of, and that will free up, everybody needs more closet space, so that'll free up some space here at school, and we can keep the appropriate records of school, and the ones that do not need to be kept any longer than necessary can be shredded and disposed of in that regard. And I guess a little more detail on it, the Ohio Historical Society receives, I have to send to them the record retention schedule, they then approve it, and then they send it to the auditor's office, and the auditor's office approves it, and then they return it to the district. And then we can go ahead, and then also the records that are up for disposal, then some of those have to be approved by the Ohio, used to be called the Ohio Historical Society, and now it's the Ohio History Connection. So there's a bit of a process, but it flows pretty well. They just want to make sure that you're not throwing out anything that would be significant to the history of the state of Ohio.
Didn't we find Bob's report card? We shredded that, right?
Thank God, because my kids see that, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, well, I stayed back because I knew they wouldn't let us do it right away. That's all I have.
Going up on the wall.
All right, I'm sorry.
Don't be
I
like
had to
him.
throw that in there. Because I know Jim's report card was good.
You wanted him, Bob?
right.
Let's be honest.
You're good, Mr. Street? Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
All righty. Comments from board members, board committee reports. We're going to start with Mrs. Barczyk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mrs. Hostetler, for your presentation, and congratulations to the HPAC students. Another great thing that they've done for the city of Brooklyn and the schools that show what good work we're doing here. Thank you again. I would like to congratulate all of our graduates. Let them know that they'll always have a home off of 480. There'll always be hurricanes. It's the mom in me that I want to let them know they always can come back home. I expect great and wonderful things from every one of them. I know they're all going to make us proud. The future is, and they're limitless, and their dreams can come true, and I just can't wait to see where they all end up. And I'm very proud of them, and congratulations to them, and I know all the hard work they put into graduating. And just on a personal note, June 3rd, graduation day, is my favorite day to be a board member. That really is why I love being a board member. Seeing all those kids walk across the stage, go on to their careers, to the military, or to college. I think it's just a wonderful thing, and it's something that everybody in this community can be proud of. So I said that, and I I'll stop there. The mom and me will stop there with all of that. Class of 18, very congratulations. I want to congratulate all the kids in the spring sports. They did a great job, and they once again represented Brooklyn well. Thanks again for all of your hard work and dedication and being a good ambassador to the other cities around of how great and wonderful Brooklyn is. I appreciate that. I try to keep my comments short when it's my day to read, and boy, do we have an agenda. Thanks, guys. Thanks. One of my committees is the Domestic Violence Committee. They had a meeting on May 3rd. I was not made aware of the meeting, so I did not attend the meeting. Their next meeting, I verified yesterday, will either be June 14th or June 20th. A time or a location have not been set yet, but I will report on that at next month's meeting. That was the first meeting of the year, and so I can't speak on anything else that was happening at that meeting. I would like to also say that I would like to thank everyone involved that went out and voted and passed our levy 2-1. That's a great thing that we really showed the community how that our residents support Brooklyn City Schools. Thank you so much. It was really greatly appreciated. I'd like to thank everyone who helped out, everyone who went and voted, and especially our levy committee. I don't want to miss anybody, but Mrs. Pam Vercio, Mary Copland, they were very strategic in all of this and what went forward. Thank you, ladies, so much. Thank you, everyone who helped. Thank you, everyone who put a sign in their yard, walked the streets, everyone who passed out literature. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. I can always be reached at 216-406-4304. I hope everyone has a great Memorial Day. Try to keep it short. And that's it, Mr. President.
Thank you. On to Mr. Hennings.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd also like to say good luck to the class of 2018. For some, it's bittersweet. I know Ian and Logan, although they're happy to graduate, they're not happy about leaving what they did behind as far as football and track and stage crew and all the rest of what they did. They just keep saying, I can't believe it's over. This year went so fast. I'm like, what? That's what happens when you stay busy the whole time. As Bonnie said, congratulations to the spring sports athletes. I hope everyone got a chance to come out and see them. I'm especially kind of proud of the track team. Coach Hubble and Coach Akins, who are new, did a real fine job with them. We had several of our track members make it to the district finals. One of them was Logan with the 4x2 team, and they finished 8th. So congratulations to all of them. For those of you who don't know, Jaden Walls, who went to state last year, missed the regionals by 1 inch. So when they say they missed it by that much, she missed it by that much. So congratulations to all of our track members, baseball players and softball players. I won't go into too much with Polaris. I've done that to Jim before, so I'm just going to say I was at the Polaris graduate, seeing Logan get his award from physical therapy. And yes, we had 3 outstanding students, and that's pretty good. I'm particularly happy with this one. I'd like to thank Heather Schmiedel and our football coach, Sean Belleville. Sean and Heather both filled out grants for money for the football team. Heather received $700, which she plans on buying equipment bags, and Sean, God bless him, received $25,000 from the NFL, and he plans on buying all new helmets for all of the football players, and whatever money he has left, he plans on buying pads. I know he's bought quite a few of the workout pads, the tackle pads, so we got quite a bit of new stuff here. Also, everybody during the summer, get out and get up to the rec center. Don't sit in there and play Xbox and PlayStation all summer long. Get out. They got so much up, the swimming, the hot tub, the workout rooms, the cardio rooms. You know, the last thing we need to do is have everybody sitting around watching TV. Congratulations to the Neomed team. I know Logan was on it a couple years ago, and the competition's pretty stiff. So if they finished somewhere near the top, they did a heck of a job. So good luck to them. Mr. Lewis, I definitely agree. We need to keep the strategic planning meetings going on as long as we can keep them going on. And that's all I have to say. Good luck to everyone, and have a safe and happy summer.
Thank you. On to Mr. Sanger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too would like to congratulate all the academic, the athletic, and the arts awards winners. I had a chance to attend the Intermediate Academic Awards ceremony, and I think what was most inspiring was when they were walking out the stage, their medals were clanging, because we had quite a few multiple recipients, and I think everybody just went berserk and clapped when that happened, because I think they did it intentionally too for a couple of the teachers, but they took their medals and were clanging them together. So I thought it was impressive, especially the caliber of the awards that were given, the presidential awards. That was just on the intermediate academic awards, and I'm sure for the seniors that was just as rewarding. When people criticize, the Brooklyn schools, I said, get a chance, come to one of our award ceremonies. I don't care if it's athletic or academic or arts, any of the events, and it might change your attitude, your mind about the quality of education and the excitement that the kids have of participating. Mike, just addressing to you, I'm a bit surprised as a first generation American. My parents were both born overseas. One of the things they first had to learn was the Pledge of Allegiance. It was something I cherish and hold dear to my heart. I don't know why we're not reciting the Pledge of Allegiance every day. This is kind of a surprise to me, because we do it here at the board meeting to set an example. I'd like to perhaps research this, ask Dr. Glykoff to see if it's not in our board policy that we don't recite the Pledge of Allegiance. If we're not, we're going the wrong direction as training our kids to be good citizens, good stewards. I don't want to comment too much about what your comments were, Mike, about the IEP process and the volunteer coordination. That's something, again, what I see is try to dissect everything that you said and try to match that up with the limited knowledge I have as a board member, and just look at possibly mapping out where you could possibly fit in and help, and maybe a carve out for a strategic task force that addresses the IEP program. I mean, it seems to be growing every year, and there's so much over-regulation from an educational standpoint. It's very mind-boggling, and I got to tell you, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes as a parent. I know how difficult it is, and probably even more frustrating. We have to deal with bureaucracies, and I don't think there's any malintention.
Correct.
And I want to applaud you for stepping forward as a volunteer. I just think that what we need to do maybe is just kind of map out what we can legally do and what we can't do. I know it's a very delicate process when you're involved IEP. That much I know to be dangerous. But I think maybe perhaps, we have strategic task force, as Mr. Lewis said. He thought it's a good idea to continue it. As a board member, I'd like to see it, because I think some of the greatest inputs that we have to the board not only comes from the administration staff, but from our parents. And I want to tell you, we appreciate that. I want to thank Ms. Hostetler again for the HPAC presentation. Here's what really hit me was the class of '67 doing some sponsorship of that. I've always, I didn't graduate from Brooklyn, but I always said, why aren't our classes, Brooklyn class, our alums, not involved more in the school process? And I just want to throw this out to my fellow board members and to Dr. Glykoff, is that we all love seeing your faces here at the board meetings, but I thought it'd be really nice if we can send out an invitation to certain classes. Rob, what class did you graduate? 87. 87. Except for the class of '87.
Yeah, really.
Can't be as bad as Bob's year. Cannot be as
Mr.
bad.
Chingary, what year were you?
We were the only ones who got sent home early
85.
from Washington.
We'll throw you all in the same boat. But you know what? When I see people
Not a
like you,
problem.
class of '85,
No, it wasn't.
Rob, class of
We
'87,
got sent home early from
so many of your
Washington.
classmates can contribute so much, either mentoring, our students are talking about maybe the good old days. Kids may or may not want to hear about it, but they hear about it, they see hope. Yeah, a lot of our kids don't have hope and faith. And we see shootings that what happened in Texas. Somebody gave up on these kids. I don't know if it was the parents or the schools, the authorities, but somewhere there's a disconnect. And I think the greatest experience for me was when some alums from Cathedral Latin, where I graduated from school, came to talk to us as seniors. And we were just in awe. We were awestruck just by the success stories. And some were just regular Joes. You know, I went to an all-boys school, so we didn't have any ladies sharing their stories. But when they shared their stories, you know, what they did in high school, they weren't all angels like me. And, you know, it was to see that transition, a transformation from high school to college or vocational school, and what they did with themselves after life, starting families, you know, creating careers. That story has to be shared. And maybe we can do is invite one to classes, you know, maybe the do-gooder class, Jim's class there. But I just think it'd be a nice precedent just to send an invitation to particularly members of the class, just spread the word. You know, September board meeting, we'd love to have you here. And come to the podium. You get, Rocky will give you 3 minutes to share your stories of what you remembered best about your teachers at Brooklyn and some of the activities that you participated in. I just think that'd be a great idea. So, again, I want to thank Mr. Lewis again for your comments. And I especially want to thank all the voters. Again, I know it's redundant, but Dr. Glykoff said it best. What's frustrating is that we didn't pass the PI levy twice. Here's my biggest scare, and I think all of us felt it in our bones, is did Brooklyn give up on our kids? Did it give up on our schools? Well, that last vote count told us that a 2-to-1 ratio, people still believe in Brooklyn schools, and that's good. Okay, so what I think is, it's our fault that we didn't do a good enough job of selling the PI levy. In fact, I'll state, I didn't do a good enough job of selling the PI levy. Because what I hear from residents, what I read, on Facebook, you know, I'm a Facebook fanatic, is that a lot of people don't understand what a PI levy is, and what it's used for, and why it's necessary. And, you know, why, you know, I see comments, why aren't we paying the roof with the new levy, emergency renewal levy that we just passed? You know, again, maybe drilling down in the weeds a little bit, maybe what we need to do is make it simplified enough so that everybody can understand why there's a need for permanent improvement levies and why they're separate from other levies that are out there and what these funds are restricted for use for. And you know, a lot of comments that are made too is, you know, people need to understand that, you know, when a roof goes bad, okay, nobody knows when a roof goes bad. If you're lucky, it goes bad under warranty. If you're unlucky, the year after the warranty expires, when all the leaks are exposed. So we can patch, we can continue patching, but, you know, we met as a strategic task force meeting of facilities. And folks, I got news for you. There's more things than the roof that has to be fixed. You know, and I'm a practical guy and I'm a reasonable guy, but when somebody tells me, let's put a roof on first, and then let's put a new HVAC system after that, rip through the fabric of the new roof, you know, without vetting this first, you know, thinking this through, what we have to do is look at the entire picture and say, you know, and we've done this. You know, Dr. Glykoff and John Street and Sandy Neal have presented us with a 5-year maintenance plan. Priority, this is what we need to fix. You know, should we continue to try to find parts for HVAC system that they don't even make the parts anymore? They don't make them anymore. So we have to scavenge other parts to fix our air handlers and everything else. So I think we have to take what I call the professional approach, and that depend on professionals, not board members, but on professionals to tell the board, this is what you need to do to properly maintain the schools and ensure that they're going to last for another 30 to 40 or 50 years. That's when our note gets ripped up, I think, after 35 years, 36 years. So that's the approach, folks. People don't like it. You know, they say, well, why did you do this last year or 2 years ago, or why did you put about, you know, history is history. We can't bring that back, but what we can do is think forward and think for the future and say, what can we do to avoid this kind of situation again? I mean, nobody likes to walk down hallways where the buckets streaming down with water. No one likes that. We don't want that for our kids. So, including myself as a board member, and I think I speak for the rest of the board, we want to get it fixed, but we want to get it fixed right. So, you know, we have some good people with Sandy on board, and Dr. Blackhoff mentioned a roofer they're going to meet with, try to make it a little less expensive, but again, something that's going to be warranted to last for a long time. So, I've gone on enough, and I read a report, thank you.
Really?
Really?
Thanks. On to Mr. Oper.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank everybody that came tonight. I'd like to thank Mr. Shangari. Your comments are always insightful. Thank you very much. Mr. Lewis, thank you for your good words on strategic planning. I'm on the communications one, and we're doing some good stuff as well. Thanks to Ms. Hostetler and the HPAC students for their work, and as Rick mentioned, any better understanding in the light of recent events like we saw in Texas is helpful. As Bob and Dr. Kleikoff mentioned, players did have their graduation last night at Grace Church. 378 graduates, 44 from Brooklyn, and of course, Mr. Hennings's son, Logan. We were well represented in the categories such as National Technical Honor Society, but I'd like to highlight the 3 graduates from Brooklyn who were named outstanding senior in their particular program. Bethenby Alberton in Digital Art Design, Dawn Folkrod in Baking and Pastry Arts, and Michael Gaddy in Precision CNC Manufacturing. The renovation project at Polaris is moving along pretty fast, and the 3rd floor is already cleared out and abated. And as part of the bond money, new up-to-date equipment is being purchased for welding, HVAC, and machining. So this past Saturday, an auction was held for the old equipment, which netted a total of $90,000. Next month, the board will have a tour of what's been done there so far. And most importantly, I'd like to thank all the residents who came out and voted to renew our operations levy on May 8th. I'd like to thank the committee, the volunteers, residents, and staff for their help through the campaign. Your energy and enthusiasm is much appreciated. And finally, I can be reached at james.oper@brooklyn.k12.oh.us or 216-485-8195. And that's my report.
Thank you. Finance Committee is due a meeting in June, so we need to schedule that. Did attend Taste of Brooklyn, which was awesome. Tasted everything. It was a very nice Saturday night. I am on the Technology Committee, and there will be some cameras going up and some computers that are being upgraded in the school this summer. So I'm looking forward to that. About once a month, I walk through the school, and I happened to go through the school yesterday. I went through one of the AVID classes. And I'll tell you what, I asked every kid in the class, what are you doing? Well, they're all seniors. I bet you there was probably 20 kids out of 15 of them either going to college. They all are focused on what they're going to do. 5 of them in the workforce, the rest of them going to college, or they just knew where they were going. They were going, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. So I thought it was really enlightening, so it was pretty good. So I'm looking forward to all those kids. And I'd like to congratulate all the 2018 graduates, thank all the people who voted, the levy committee, Mr. Slattery, Ms. Pam Vercio, everybody stepped up to the plate. It was very important. I think we got to keep the momentum. We got to make sure that we keep going forward. And what I hear is the communication part, us to the community. You only come around when you need money. So that's the part that we have talked about. That's the part that I will drive the ship going forward and make sure we're going to do that and communicating with the community. So as I was on strategic planning, I was on safety and discipline. Mr. Lewis, thank you for your comments. Ms. Hostler, Ms. Jones, Ms. Politsky. Who else was on there? Mr. Slattery, Officer Meadows. Very good insight. I was only at, I think you guys might have had 3 meetings. I was at 2, but all the meetings were very productive. I think we came up with a lot of good analysis, and then we also put some stuff into motion, and that you will see over the summer. So I'm looking forward to that as well, too.
Bamboo shoots underneath the fingernails.
Oh, where am I at here? That's about it. So we're gonna move on. So, thanks. We're gonna move on to approval of minutes and financial statements. Our reader tonight is Mrs. Barczyk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolved that the minutes of the following Board of Education meeting be adopted and all action taken by the Board of Education at said meeting is hereby reaffirmed and approved. Regular meeting, April 17th, 2018. Special meeting, April 24th, 2018. Special meeting, April 30th, 2018.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Street, can you call the roll?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the financial statements of receipts and expenditures for the month of April 2018, including all purchase orders, all paid and all then and now statements for the month of April as submitted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Street, anything?
I think pretty self-explanatory. Look at the cash flow statements on there to take a look at, see how we're doing this year. I'll have my 5-year forecast later on in the agenda, and I think that's it.
All right, we need to set up a finance meeting, but we'll talk about that in other business. All righty? Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes the superintendent to enter into a contractual agreement for school health services with the Cuyahoga County Board of Health for the 2018-2019 school year, agreement on file in Treasurer's Office.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
This is a contract for our school nurse, who is Mrs. Barb Manley, and this reflects a 2% increase from last year.
Anybody else? Mr. Street, can you call the roll?
Mr. Neal? Mr.
Yes.
Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn Board of Education hereby approves the following new administrative job descriptions: Brooklyn School Assistant Principal Pre-K through 7, Brooklyn School Principal Pre-K through 7.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yes, as you know, and from past meetings, we've, abolished the current positions. These are the new job descriptions for the Brooklyn School. Just a point of interest for you, we've received over 70 applications. We're going to begin interviews either later this week or early next week for that. So,
Thank you. Anybody else? Mr. Street, can you call the roll?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education amends the approved agreement with Lake County ESC Resolution Number 180473 to reflect a multiple-year agreement from March 1st, 2018 through February 28, 2022.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Glykoff, can you comment, please?
yeah, this was, last month we did this, it was reflected as a 1-year, it actually is a multiple-year contract. Remember, this was the agreement with the ESC of Lake County for that Naviance professional development, the program that Ms. Bobichek talked about, so.
Anybody else? Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes membership in the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the 2018-2019 school year. Brooklyn High School and intermediate schools will conduct their athletics in accordance with the OHSAA Constitution, bylaws, regulations, interpretations, and decisions of the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Can I have a motion, please?
Tongue twister.
Yes, it is.
Can I have a
So moved.
Yep.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Standard OHSAA authorization for the year.
Thank you.
Does this need to be changed because we're no longer intermediate, or is that just
I circled that. I think what we'll need to do is take a look at that, because we're technically not, actually, our name isn't really even the intermediate school, so we may need to look at probably renaming that, so.
okay.
We can amend it at the next
Yeah.
meeting if needed. Anybody else? Thanks, Jim. Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the applications for the following fundraising activities on file in Treasurer's Office as noted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Pretty standard. Should note that one of those, as I noted to you folks, that happened last week, we had the staff car wash done by our, one of our special ed classrooms in the high school. It was a great event, and I think they actually raised over $300 for their Friday morning cafe that they put on.
Awesome.
So,
I took
awesome.
my car down and I couldn't wait in line. There were like 3 cars ahead of me. I had to come back and never did get back there, so. It's popular.
Snooze, you lose, bud.
That's all right. Anybody else? Mrs. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the Brooklyn High School Class of 2018 as submitted, providing all requirements for graduations have been met by that date.
As noted?
As noted.
As noted.
How
Can
many
I have
are
a
there?
motion,
So
please?
I did not count this.
I was just gonna say,
No.
Jim, that's why I didn't take your thunder. I was
I
like,
did
Jim will
not
count.
count.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Anybody else? Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good job.
I knew my
See you-
kid never
see you in a week
graduated. He's
or
not on the
so,
list.
right?
I've already seen his name, Bob. There he is.
Is he on? Did he get on there?
Yep, Bowen.
He got on it.
Is yours still on there?
Yours is the one that.
I didn't even smell one of those lists.
Hate to give you the news flash, this is just the list. They still have to meet the requirements, so
Oh, okay.
we-
You might be stuck with one of them then.
we'll see you on the 3rd.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, we will.
All right. Mrs. Street, can you call the roll?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby commends the following students per the attachment, the class of 2018.
Can I have a
As
motion?
noted.
Oh, can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Congratulations.
Good job.
Congratulations.
You're making us all very proud.
Folks who, special commendations.
Stanley Drum, AC, that's awesome.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Next list.
All right.
Somebody's
Good
gonna
job.
get beat when I get home.
Well, and we have that.
Mr. Street, can you call the roll?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby accepts with regret the following retirement effective June 30th, 2018. Darla Dempsey.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
You know, just that Ms. Dempsey chose to hang around for another year with Weeds Transportation, and so we're happy that she did.
Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. The Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby commends Darla Dempsey for her 6 years of service to the students of Brooklyn.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your retirement.
Yep, again,
It doesn't last long, believe me.
right. Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby accepts the following certified resignations as of July 31st, 2018, as noted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, we have 4 resignations this year from certified staff members, as you can see up there, all for a variety of reasons. But, you know, we regret losing them, but we're happy that they've got new challenges in front of them. You know, Michelle Hirsch really, it has a resignation. She retired, as you remember, last year, so she came back and was another year with us, so.
Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the resignation of the following classified staff. Gail Booth, Playground Monitor, effective April 28th, 2018, and Jocelyn Rowland, Playground Monitor, dismissal shift only, effective April 26th, 2018.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved. So moved.
Second.
Second.
One or someone. Questions, comments?
Just a couple standard resignations, again, one for a shift, the other for just moving on to a new position.
Thank you. Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Administrative resignation and teaching continuing contract. Resolution to declare RC 3319.08 teaching continuing contract status, except RC 3319.02 administrator employment contract resignation, and award RC 331908 teaching continuing employment contract as noted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, Mr. Tansky is resigning his position as the middle school principal and has chosen to exercise continuing contract, and so we're going to honor that and place him into a classroom position.
Anybody else? Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Administrative resignation and teaching continuing contract. Resolution to declare RC 3319.08 teaching continuing contract status, except RC 3319.02 administrator employment contract resignation, and to award RC 331908 teaching continuing employment contract as noted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Pretty similar, Mr. Yarman, who's here tonight, is going to resign the Brooklyn principal position in elementary school, and we're going to, he wants to exercise his continuing contract right, so we're going to place him in a teaching position as well.
Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Street, can you call the roll?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the resignation of the following CATS employee: Leslie Arkle, CATS preschool classroom assistant, effective June 1st, 2018.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Just a pretty standard resignation, one
All
of
right.
our aides there.
Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves Linda Etheridge as the coordinator for the CATS Kids Are Totally Super before and after school child care program for the period of July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2019. Contract on file in Treasurer's Office.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, we remember a couple months back, we had Sue Grodick, who resigned this position, effective at the end of this year. And so Linda Etheridge, one of our current employees, a classified employee, had the credentials, and she's applied, and we've granted her that position. This is only the third CATS coordinator we've had, and so,
It's quite some time, too.
yeah, so.
Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the following persons for the 2018-2019 supplemental coaching assignment, with the provision that such individuals comply with all Ohio High School Athletic Association rules and regulations and State Department of Education regulations pertaining to proper certification and/or first aid training, and fulfills the requirement of the job description attached to their supplemental contracts, as noted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Getting ready already for the fall season. So you'll see a lot of our fall coaches are here, as well as some of our winter coaches. But we got to start getting these ready for.
This is our last year in the pack, right?
That's
This one?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe we'll have
So,
a much better chance of doing better.
yeah, well, I think at a subsequent meeting, I'd like to talk a little bit about, the Chagrin Valley Conference and our move there. But I've kept you guys apprised. But going back to this is just some coaches getting ready for next year.
Right. Coach Jurg's in the stands? All right, buddy, good job.
Coach Yerg did a great job with the girls' basketball team.
Yeah.
You did an amazing job.
Girls are a little tougher. Just
Hello?
kidding.
Excuse me?
Boys are a lot tougher, believe me.
Excuse me?
Girls are a lot easier to coach.
That's what you just said a second ago.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
was
Sandy,
quick.
give him the shovel,
No.
Sandy, so he can dig his way out of that one.
I'm just gonna shut up now. All right, can we call the
have
roll?
boys.
Can we call the roll, get me out of this deal?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
No. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves granting the administrative contracts commencing on August 1st, 2018, and continuing until July 31st, 2021 for the following administrators: Paula Jones, Director of Pupil Services; Taylor Smith, Systems and Instructional Technical Coordinator. See, that's the one that tongue ties me, and the other one didn't.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, two central office administrators recommending their contracts here, 3-year contracts. They've been with us now for a couple of years and done fine work. So looking forward to their continued employment here.
Okay. Mr. Street, can you call the roll?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
No.
Mrs. Barcheck?
No. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the employment of the following classified personnel for the 2017-2018 school year, as noted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
No, just a couple of standard, when we've got, domino effect, these are new positions here. So people take on other positions, so.
Anybody else? Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal? Mr.
Yes.
Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolution 5.12, abolishment and suspension of bus drivers and bus monitors. Resolution to abolish and suspend RC 3319.081, non-teaching positions and employment contracts, as noted.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Street, or Mr. Glykoff, or Dr. Glykoff?
Yeah, again, this one probably just needs a little, as all of us know, we are having our transportation through a shared services agreement with Parma City Schools. So as part of the process with these employees who are bargaining unit members of Teamsters Local 436, we need to suspend or abolish the positions and suspend the contracts. All of these folks are aware of that. We've been talking with them quite extensively over the last few months. They've been offered employment with the Parma City Schools, either as a driver or as a bus aide. And if they choose not to do that, then they can bump into the bargaining unit here. So after this meeting, we'll start to subsequently do that bumping process.
Okay. Anybody else?
Question.
Go ahead.
Darla Dempsey's on this list. Now, we just passed her resignation or retirement,
Yes.
so would she still be looking, or does she still need to be included on this list?
Correct.
I guess.
Still have to suspend the contract, but obviously she probably would not want to be bumping into another position.
Anything else? Good? Okay. Mr. Street, can you call the roll?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education approved to not re-employ and non-renew substitute teacher and long-term substitute Giovanni La Canaga, long-term substitute 7th and 8th grade social studies.
Can I have a motion, please?
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Can I have a second?
I got my sleeve.
I got a second.
Jesus, take the wheel. Second.
I got it. Questions, comments?
Yeah, Mr. L., and you did that last name very well.
Yeah.
He has been a long-term sub for us this year, done a fine job in a couple of different settings, but, standard pretty much at the end of the year, just the standard non-renewal here.
I'd like to say that I heard from a lot of the students who had him that thought he was phenomenal, and something that was really touching to me and really heartwarming is a little boy said, "I don't have my father in my life, but Mr. L was like my dad." I'm like, wow, that's how much he had an impact on some of his students, and I think that says a lot about him, and I think it's definitely a loss for Brooklyn that he won't be here. I definitely do. I just want to say that. I wish him much success in wherever he goes.
Thank you.
That's the mother in you.
Anybody
That's
else?
the mom and me again.
Anybody else?
Mr. Neal, I did not hear the motion in the second. I heard about sneeze, but.
Yeah.
I had
We all did.
Oper
I had
and
this-
Barcheck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Either way.
whatever. Yeah, you
Either
can go
way.
with it, yeah.
Go either way. Vote Neil, whatever.
The perfect moment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mr. Street, can you call the roll?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Oper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
No. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby enters into agreement with Healthcare Process Consulting, Inc. for the purpose of HPC assisting the district in managing the 2018-2019 Ohio Medicaid program in order to procure federal Medicaid reimbursement for Medicaid-eligible students, services provided by the district.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
I can make comment on this.
All right.
So, Healthcare Process Consulting, children in the school that are eligible for Medicaid, for the services that are provided to them, we can be reimbursed. And this company goes through all the red tape of what Medicaid requires in order to submit the payments for services and for us to be reimbursed.
Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Hennings?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education approves the 5-year forecast and notes. As noted, or is Mr.?
Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
You know, if you guys have questions, that's great. I won't take too much time.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Street?
Let's do the first one.
Oh,
And-
yeah, that's gonna work.
Yeah, that's always the problem. This is the state format, but Taylor's good at zooming in. Okay, so, let's see, Taylor, if you move over a little bit, just, yeah, there's, a little bit of, there we go,
Well, it's a
right
little
there, that's
column.
good. Okay, so, the first line, and if you can read fiscal year 2018, in that first line, general property tax, $12,769,000. Last year, we received $12,427,000. The increase in that amount of money is from, the economy seems to be doing better. Delinquent property taxes were paid, and so we received some decent money from property taxes. There could be some new construction in there also. The next year over, 2019, where I have $12,281, you say, well, that's a $500,000 decrease. I can only certify for the 5-year forecast what the county auditor certifies, and the delinquent collections is unpredictable. It's just the way the economy or the way the companies go, or all the, whoever it might be delinquent in their taxes. So for planning purposes, I can only certify or only put down there what the county certifies. So that really kind of throws things off, but and this is just a planning document, so we have to take that into account. Since it went from basically 12 million in 16 to 12 million 4 in 17 to 12 million 7, almost 12 million 8 in 18, I would hope that that trend would continue, but we just can't count on that. The other piece of revenue that is just killing us, and we talk about all the time, is property tax allocation, that 1.050. And on the left there, and then if you go over to the right, and like you're scrolling there, Taylor, so you can see that it's taken the average is a minus 13%. The reason for that is that's where the tangible personal property tax is that was repealed in 2006 by the state, and of course they said that there would be something to counter that repeal of that. There never has been. The commercial activity taxes that was promised for that, you know, even though it's out there, we've really never seen any money from that I know of. So in fiscal year 18, we received $1,843,000. Last year it was $2,051,000, so $200,000 different. In 2019, we're going to go from $1,843,000 to $1,586,000. So we lost a couple $100,000 there, and that will continue until that's completely phased out. And so when I will talk to the board about a levy in November for new money, and people say, what the heck are you doing with all the money? Well, this is what happens. Our revenues, instead of staying flat, they're actually decreasing because the state has reduced the reimbursement that was given to us. You know, kudos to the state for reimbursing us for that loss, but it's going to end, and really we've never seen any replacement money for that. So all districts that have had a lot of tangible problems, taxes that have been repealed, are all having this same problem.
John, can you summarize TPP, please?
So tangible personal property tax is a tax that businesses paid on their inventory and equipment. And if I was a manufacturer, I would applaud the fact that the tax was done away with, because it makes our Ohio companies more competitive. A state like Indiana, I believe, did not have tangible personal property tax. And so they had a little bit of advantage. So to take it away from for our businesses not to have to pay it, it was helpful to them. That's fine, but who does it hurt? It hurts the cities and the schools and anybody that received that tax from those businesses. And so the state knew that it would be severely detrimental in 2006, so they said, okay, we will reimburse you at a declining rate for the next how many ever years. They have moved that along, and it will end in 2022. So they have given us reimbursement at a declining rate for quite a while, but there was never a solution that materialized to make up for the loss of that. The only thing that makes up for the loss of that is school districts and cities coming back to their taxpayers to pay the balance or the difference that we have lost. So when we come back for money, that's the reason, because we have made a lot of cuts, or this district has made a lot of cuts over the years, and we just can't cut our way out of the loss of that tangible personal property tax. So the only way to make that up is through the taxpayers. So Taylor, I won't keep dragging it out, but Taylor, if you want to scroll down.
How much have we lost since it started?
It's over $1 million already, right? I
Yeah.
think we started near 3 million.
So-
Currently, probably, 1.3 million?
As I said.
I think the
Yeah.
graph that I've shared with the levy was back in 2010, we received $2.2 million in tangible personal property tax.
Yep.
I think we currently get about 800,000 or 900,000.
Yeah, we'll just round it off to 800,000, yeah, and that's per year, so we lost that much per year.
Yeah, so that's compounded.
So when this is gone, we're gonna lose, what, $2.5, $3 million?
Correct.
We're gonna lose that other $800,000 in the next 4 years?
Yeah.
We're just gonna lose
Yes.
800,000 going forward. We're not getting 2 or 3 million now currently.
No,
We're
no,
just gonna
no,
miss
so
the 800,
we've
yeah.
lost it since it started.
Yeah,
so
we're
we're
compounding.
Right.
Yeah, so like Bob's saying, at one time, when I look back at the books, there was $3 million that we received in tangible personal property tax. And like Dr. Glykoff said, we're at $700,000 or $800,000 this year, and it will be zero by the time we reach 2022, so. And so that revenue is listed up there at the top. We drop down, the expenditures listed. We have salaries, we have employees' retirements and insurances required by law to contribute to the state teachers' retirement system, school employees' retirement system. We have purchase services. We had quite an increase in purchase services over the last couple of years. There's just services that we need to provide to the students, and really that's where that is. It's a worthwhile cost, but those costs have increased. So down at, let's see, 6.010, which is the red, unfortunately the red item there, if you, over to the right, Taylor. So $317,364 is where I'm predicting that our expenditures will exceed our revenue for this year. And then that gets compounded from year to year. So our expenditures will exceed our revenue by $1.3 million for next year, which is 2019. And
John, in this chart, there are no renewal levies included, correct?
That is
You
correct.
cannot
So-
do that, so we
well-
need to leave it the way it is without any passive renewals, okay.
In this, well, so Rocky, in this, Mr. Neal, in this situation, to make it easier, I have left the renewals in. So up at the top, I kept our revenue flat in the real estate.
That's bad.
But what I'll submit to the state is the renewals taken out of that real estate and placed down lower in this 5-year forecast
Okay.
because they require it. But I just thought it was easier for us to look at to see
That's
where
fine.
we're at.
That's fine.
So basically, so like as an example, that $1,350,000, if we received a good deal of money from delinquent collections, that $1,300,000 could be cut, down to $800,000 or $900,000, but it's still a significant amount of money.
It's still
So
red.
Again,
It's still red, yeah.
yeah, so again, that's where a levy for additional money comes in to reduce that deficit and collect for the next, say, 5 years to give us a positive cash balance over a 5+ year period of time. Okay, so any questions?
Go ahead, Rick. Sure.
Go ahead, Jim.
Taylor, can you go back up to the top? Sure. Just go straight up. Okay, under the general property tax, when are those taxes assessed, or when do we get the money for that from the county?
So this year was a year of reappraisal.
Mhm.
And so we should see some increased collections from inside millage, which is probably more difficult to explain tonight than you folks you glaze over, and then new construction. But
That's my question, is if Menards opens up probably late summer of next year, when would the county begin to collect taxes on that?
So, and so I'll try to make this as easy as possible. So when construction has to be totally completed before it can be put on the tax duplicate, so it could be 2 years.
Okay. Okay, we wouldn't see that right away then?
Yes, so we would not see that right away. You'd see the building go up, and it could be 1.5 years, 2 years before we would see anything on there.
Okay.
But it would have to be, finished. They
Right.
can do partial construction, but it's usually, I'll say a couple.
I mean, the city will collect, because they're collecting wages from the people putting it up, but
Yes.
we don't get anything until it's done.
Yep, good point.
John, are you aware of anybody who's challenging their tax valuation in large companies that have?
Yes, they all do. So we do have an attorney, because years ago, as a treasurer, I used to be able to go to those appeal hearings and put out present the side of the school, but the attorneys or the legislature said that that's practicing law without a license, so we have to have an attorney do it. So we have an attorney that we pay to sit in on those appeals and fight those appeals, and it's quite active. I'll say Sam's Club and Walmart and the big chain stores do that on a regular basis. The hotels do it. So there's a whole valuation process. And I certainly want it to be fair, because if something is overvalued, I want it to be fair. If it's undervalued, I want it to be fair. And that's why the Board of Tax Revision and Appeals then can look at that and determine what is a fair amount. So we do fight those. I always tell them not to go after any mom and pops or any homeowners. I don't want to fight that battle. We need all of our constituents that we have.
True. But isn't it true that if the homeowner files something with the Board of Appeals, they still have to pay the previous rate? But the businesses can pay the lower rate until it's judged at some time that, okay, you owe us the money now because the Board of Appeals are not siding with them.
Well, Mr. Ober, that's a good point, because it's possible, and I didn't even think of it until now, but part of that $12.7 million that's up there could be some of those companies paying after they lost.
Mhm. So if they would lose their appeal and we would get the money that we feel that then that could,
Yes, they would have to catch up with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
And they pay interest on that money too, don't they?
I don't know.
I thought they did.
Anybody else? You good? You-
Okay, so I would just ask for your approval of that tonight.
Not sure if I want to approve that. Anybody questions, comments? Mr. Street? can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Henning?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the attached records for disposal per the records retention schedule.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? This is a meeting that I was involved in. Bob, your records have been expunged. So you know.
Actually, Mr. Neal, this is another set because the
This is the other set, Bob.
The Records Commission has authority to approve for disposal, and so the ones that you approved, I will send those off to the
I'm
state.
sorry.
This is when I went through a storage closet over the weekend that we had, and got through about a third of it to write down these items that I found that followed our retention schedule and can be disposed of. So there's some old cafeteria reports, bank reconciliation sheets, vouchers, which is the backup to the payments, accounts payable that we make. So these will be disposed of after I submit them to the state, and then basically, if I don't hear anything back for 15 days, then I can have them shredded.
So this is nothing that the Brooklyn Historical Society would want either, except for Bob's report card.
Yeah, Bob, they want yours.
That's historical.
That's historic.
So you don't have Mr. Cerrone's records?
How many swats you got?
I'd love to see that one.
I broke a few paddles.
I'm sure you did. All right, I'm sorry.
A lot of people wanted to see that.
Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Henning?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes.
All right.
You're up.
Resolve that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education enter into executive session for the purchase of property for public purpose or the sale of property at competitive bidding and preparing for, conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with employees. Number 2, I'm going to add, to consider the appointment, employment, compensation of a public employee and official pursuant to RC 121.22. I may be wrong with that one, but we're going to go into for an employee. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Question, no questions, comments? Mr. Street, can you call the roll?
I didn't hear the second.
Who was Jim?
Jim was the second, because Bob, yeah.
Mr. Street, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Neal?
Acid
Yes.
reflux, it's just kind of.
Mr. Singer?
Yes.
Mr. Roper?
Yes.
Mr. Henning?
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck?
Yes. What time is it?
We got 8.
8:23.